Good evening, guys. This is Sweet Potato coming to you with Proverbs 16, this daily devotion, or nightly devotion, as I'm calling it, because they all happen at night. Yep. Excuse my popcorn butter teeth, because I ate popcorn. It's pretty cool. I'm still kind of reveling in the celebrations, In any case, let's go ahead and start. The preparations of the heart in man, and the answer of the tongue is from the Lord. All the ways of a man are clean in his own eyes, but the Lord weigheth the spirits. Commit thy works unto the Lord, and thy thoughts shall be established. The Lord hath made all things for himself, yea, even the wicked for the day of evil. Every one that is proud in his heart is an abomination to the Lord, though hand join in hand, he shall not be unpunished. By mercy and truth iniquity is purged, and by fear of the Lord men depart from evil. When a man's ways please the Lord, he maketh even his enemies to be at peace with him. Better is a little with righteousness than great revenues without right. We saw that one last night. A man's heart deviseth his way, but the Lord directeth his steps. A divine sentence is in the lips of the king. His mouth transgresseth not in judgment. O just weight and balance are the Lord's. All the weights of his bag are his work. It is an abomination to kings to commit wickedness, for the throne is established by righteousness. Righteous lips are the delight of kings, and they love him that speaketh right. The wrath of kings is the messengers of death, but the wise man will pacify it. And the light of the king's countenance is life, and his favor is a cloud of the latter rain. Let's start again. The preparations of the heart in man, and the answer of the tongue is from the Lord. Preparations of the heart. Those are the things that we do to prepare our hearts for Christ, to do his holy and righteous word, the reading of the scriptures and the understanding of his blessings, all the ways of the man, as well as the ends of the tongue, the righteous tongue, who speaketh life. All the ways of man are clean in his own eyes, but the Lord weigheth the spirits. Yep, we see everything we do is right, but the Lord weighs our souls and our spirits, not our bodies, or the sin within. Because the bodies are just shells. Our sin lies in the conscience. Commit thy works unto the Lord, and thy thoughts shall be established. Commit your works unto the Lord, and your thoughts will be established. Your thoughts, your intentions, your motivations, they'll all be established as you do those works. The Lord hath made all things for himself, yea, even the wicked for the day of evil. He even made the wicked for himself. He made everything for himself. And he gave us free will so we can see himself what we are going to do with it. The wicked have a purpose, and they are here for a reason. The Lord saith, the Lord hath made all things for himself, yea, even the wicked for the day of evil. Every one that is proud in his heart is an abomination to the Lord. Though hand join in hand, he shall not be unpunished. The man who is proud, who is prideful in his own work, shall not be unpunished. He shall be punished even if he's joined hand in hand by the righteous man. And that's something to think about. You're not going to escape from your own sins. Really. And by mercy and truth, iniquity is purged, and by the fear of the Lord, men depart from evil. By mercy and truth, iniquity, sin, transgression is purged. It is destroyed. I'm just going to stop putting the chair underneath me. I don't like it anymore. But by fear of the Lord, the men depart from evil. When a man's ways please the Lord, he maketh even his enemies to be at peace with him. Because at that point, you're not transgressing against anyone, you're not offending anyone. Everyone will, if the Lord loves you, if you're doing right by him, then everyone will love you just as you love them. That's how you know. Well, they don't have to love you, but they're not going to transgress against you because they have no reason to actually see you as an enemy. Better is a little with righteousness than great revenues without right. Even the poor man who is righteous is better than the rich man who is not. That's why Lazarus got into heaven, got to sit on Abraham's bosom. A man's heart deviseth his way, but the Lord directeth his steps. A man's heart will look forward down the path of life. He will look down it and aim to go towards it. But the Lord directs his steps. And if he's doing wrong, then the Lord will steer that conscience right back around. Let Jesus take the wheel, baby. A divine sentence is in the lips of the king. His mouth transgresseth not in judgment. A divine sentence is in the lips of the king. He's the only one who can give judgment. Don't you dare say to anybody else that they will be condemned for doing something. The Lord, it says it right here. A divine sentence is in the lips of the king. He is the only one. Not man, not demon. He is the only one who can give judgment. So don't you dare try to condemn somebody else for something that they do. It's not our job. His mouth transgresseth not in judgment. Just weight and balance are the Lord's. All the weights of his bag are his works. Just weight and balance are the Lord's. All the weights of the balance of the bag are his work. His weight and balance are equal. They are perfect. The weights of the bags are his work. Those are the burdens that we have to carry, that he has to carry for us. Those are our sins that he's carrying on his back for us. It is abomination to kings to commit wickedness, for the throne is established by righteousness. You see, the Lord chooses who gets to be king, because the Lord worketh in the ways necessary to establish said kings. So if the Lord is ruler over the rulers of the land, then he doesn't want those rulers of the land transgressing against him. It's even worse if they do it because they have so much influence. They're not like celebrities, they're like monarchs. They actually are monarchs. Righteous lips are the delight of kings, and they love him that speaketh right. Righteous lips are the delight of kings, and they love him that speaketh right. The kings love him that speaketh right. The wrath of the king is as messengers of death, but a wise man will pacify it. The wrath of the king if the king intends to hurt people, he's going to hurt people. He has the power to hurt people and will very well do so. Is my face too close to this thing in camera? The reason that I'm so close to the camera is so you can actually hear me. I'm sorry about that. Maybe I should focus my screen on something else. I don't know. Should I share my screen? Show? No, I don't have an online Bible. Okay, never mind. The wrath of the king is messengers of death. The king will hurt people if he wants to, but a wise man will pacify it. He'll pacify that wrath, that lust, that bloodlust, with his soothing words that the kings love. And in the light of his king's countenance is life, and his favor is as a cloud of the latter rain. In the light of the king's countenance is life. When the king walketh in life, the country walketh in life, and his favor is a cloud of the latter rain. It is a cloud, beautiful, fluffy, and absolutely. And yes, the latter rain, the rain that will come later. That means it'll give relief, it'll give water, it'll give soothing. It's a sign of good times. How much better is it to get wisdom than gold, and to get understanding rather than to be chosen with silver? The highway of the upright is to depart from evil. He that keepeth his way preserveth his soul. Pride goeth before destruction, and an haughty spirit before a fall. Pride goeth before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. Better is it to be of an humble spirit with the lowly, than to divide the spoil with the proud. He that handleth a matter wisely shall find good, and whoso trusteth in the Lord, happy is he. The wise in heart shall be called prudent, and the sweetness of his lips increaseth learning. Understanding is a wellspring of life unto him that hath it, but the instruction of fools is folly. The heart of the wise teacheth his mouth, and addeth learning to his lips. Pleasant words are as an honeycomb, sweet to the soul, and health to the bones. But there is a way that seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death. He that laboureth for himself, for his mouth craveth it of him. An ungodly man diggeth up evil. Sorry, I'm trying to be quiet. It's nearly midnight, you know. An ungodly man diggeth up evil, and in his lips there is as a burning fire. A froward man soweth strife, and a whisperer separateth chief friends. A violent man enticeth his neighbor, and leadeth him into the way that is not good. He shutteth his eyes to devise froward things. Moving his lips, he bringeth evil to pass. We'll stop right there at verse 30. Back to 16. How much better is it to get wisdom than gold, and to get understanding rather than to be chosen in silver? It's like they say that wisdom, understanding, your sister and your kinswoman are more precious than those treasures. The highway of the upright is to depart from evil. He that keepeth his way preserveth his soul. The highway of the upright, the path of righteousness, the path of the saints, the path to heaven, that stairway to heaven, that nice path that goeth up, that goeth up. There we go. Wait, crud. He that keepeth his way preserveth his soul. If he keeps the way, he'll preserve his soul. Pride goeth before destruction. That prideful heart, the Lord hates it, so he'll destroy. And an haughty spirit, which is an abomination, we saw it in chapter 6, is abomination before a fall, an obstacle in the path of life. Pride goeth before destruction, haughty spirit before the fall. Better is it to be of an humble spirit with the lowly than to divide the spoil with the proud. Better is it to be humble with the poor than to be rich with the spoiled, with the proud. He that handleth a matter wisely shall find good, and whoso trusteth in the Lord, happy is he. Oh, peacemakers will find good in the Lord, and whoso trusteth in the Lord, happy is he. Because he'll have that joy, that everlasting joy. The wise in heart shall be called prudent, and the sweetness of his lips increaseth learning. Because the prudent man speaketh life. You remember that? We remember that. Understanding is a wellspring of life unto them that hath it, but the instruction of fools is folly. Understanding is a wellspring of life. It's only life. It leads to knowledge, which leads to wisdom. But the instruction of fools, the words of fools are folly, their mistakes. The heart of the wise teacheth his mouth, and addeth learning to his lips. The heart of the wise teacheth his mouth. The heart teaches the mouth, because the heart, the soul, and the mind are the things that control the mouth. And they add learning to his lips by allowing him to speak those things. Pleasant word there is in honeycomb, sweet to the soul and health to the bones. Yeah, that's pretty straightforward. Pleasant lips are as an honeycomb, sweet, succulent, delicious, sustenance, yum yum. There is a way that seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death. It's like we said before, all things are good in a man's eyes, too, that a man does. But if they're not acceptable in the eyes of the Lord, then we're doing it wrong. Nope, it's just not right. Well, the ends thereof are the ways of death. He that laboureth for himself, and his mouth craveth it of him. He that labours for himself. We have to labor not for ourselves, but for the Lord. His mouth craveth it of him. We're talking about the man whose ways go to the ends. His mouth, he's greedy. He wants what he's gonna reap. He's gonna reap what he's gonna sow, and then he'll eat it. Gluttony. Okay. An ungodly man diggeth up evil, and in his lips there is a burning fire. Ungodly man diggeth evil, and in his lips there's a burning fire. That's that fire of heck that the tongue is described to be bathed in the New Testament. We'll get to that later. A froward man soweth strife, and a whisperer separated the chief friends. A froward man soweth strife, mischief, and a whisperer separated the chief friends. Oh, they're messing with the spirit. Oh, they're sowing discord among the brethren. That's like the worst thing you can do. Okay, a violent man enticeth his neighbor, and leadeth him into the way that is not good. Yeah, he's just looking for mischief, pulling him down to the path of death. He shutteth his eyes to devise froward things, just varying things, ungodly things, things that are of the devil. Moving his lips, he bringeth evil to pass. He's manipulating his neighbor to do things that are not called upon by the Lord. He's manipulating his neighbor to do evil. That's what the ungodly man does. He seeks to destroy. The hoary head is a crown of glory, if it be found in the way of righteousness. The head is a crown of glory. The messy head is the crown of glory. If it's found in the way of righteousness, it doesn't matter how you look. So long as you're walking in the Lord, you're fine. He that is slow to anger is better than he that is slow to anger is better than the mighty, and he that ruleth his spirit than he that taketh a city. The lot is cast into his lap, but the whole disposing thereof is the Lord. The hoary head is a crown of glory, if it be found in the way of righteousness. That messy, dirty head is a crown. It's a crown because it professes all the things that you've done. I mean, look at Jesus and his disciples. They walked around, they faced starvation, they faced homelessness, they faced poverty. I'm sure they weren't the most hygienic people in the world because they didn't live in one place. They kept wandering. But their heads, their clothes, their feet were crowns of glory because they professed righteousness. They were walking on the path of life. He that is slow to anger is better than the mighty, because he that can use his power well, however little power that he has, whoever can use his heart and his compassion to ease the minds of others and bring peace is better than the mighty who is simply strong, but in this case, he can't do much with that power. He doesn't have the knowledge or instruction to. Well, not in this case. I know a lot of mighty people who are quite well versed in the word. Those my bands. And he that ruleth his spirit, and he that taketh the city. He that ruleth his spirit, he that keeps himself under control, who has temperance, is better than him that taketh the city, who has power to take cities, be a warlord. Again, in this case, they're not doing anything good with that power. They're just abusing it. Therefore, it is not on the way of the Lord. So it's not going to bring any good fruit. The lot is cast into the lap, but the whole disposing thereof is of the Lord. The lot's cast into the lap. They're casting lots, cast into the lap, but the whole disposing thereof, whether or not that lot is actually for victory or not, whether or not it'll actually win anything, that is for the Lord to decide. Just like anything we do, every risk we take, whether it turns out good or bad, that's for the Lord to decide. If it works for the Lord, then it'll work for us too. That's all we have to do. Just keep working towards the Lord. Sometimes we have to step out of our comfort zone, but that's okay. The Lord's with us. As long as we're doing what He desires us to do, then we can be sure that we're walking on the right path, even if it doesn't seem that way. And for the love of cheese, don't condemn anyone. I have to remind people of that. It's pretty easy to forget. Anyway, that was verse 33. That's the end of Proverbs chapter 16. So let's go ahead and pray. Our holy and righteous Father in heaven, we come to your throne this night. Thank you so much for the wonderful and blessed day. We thank you so much for all the wonderful blessings and opportunities that you've granted us throughout this weekend. We thank you so much for the ability to go on the group chat this morning and watch young men profess the word and work fervently in your name. And we pray that in all things you may very well continue keeping us. You may very well continue holding us as we continue on this path of life that you've set in place for us. We pray that you may very well be your holy and righteous Father forever. And keep us in your care until the very end. We pray these blessings and many more in your holy Son, Jesus Christ's name. Amen. And that's that. Thank you guys for tuning in. Hope everybody's having a good night. Sorry that these things just keep being late. It just slips my mind sometimes. On the bright side, I got some work done, so not a completely wasted day. Yay. In case, this potato's out. Peace.